The GRANOSKI'S family lives on Oneida Lake. There's no denying the tranquility of this spot. They must love the view. Until that first night in May.
Well, I had just gotten off the phone with a friend of mine, and I was walking down the hallway, and I happened to glance out the window, and I saw the lights up in the sky.
What the GRANOSKI'S say they saw was just over the horizon. And what gave it added impetus is the fact that it was also seen by at least 30 other witnesses and recorded on tape by at least one other.
The reaction after that was to start videoing them. The period of lights that on, there was 3, and then it went through different formations of 6 and then 5, and when 12 lit up at one time, that really started to make us think, what was it?
This different angle from another witness allowed analysts to plot the location. It wasn't over Oneida Lake, but farther north, possibly over Camden. Needless to say, UFO investigators are thrilled.
What you've got here is you've got an event that's lasting a long time. You've got a fairly clear shot given the conditions of where it was. And also you've got some very credible witnesses.
And there's more. Virtually identical images were allegedly seen over Phoenix, Arizona in March. The investigation is ongoing. Unexplained sightings near Oneida Lake in late May. Bright lights dancing in the night sky. Randomly moving about, but at the same time suggesting some kind of intelligence, some method to this airborne madness. Is central New York once again home to unidentified flying objects? What you see here was witnessed by many and recorded by more than one home videographer. This morning on Face to Face, 2 UFO investigators joined Joe Zone and Bob Andrews and me as we get their take on this. Please welcome this morning David Bodner on my immediate left, and on my far left, Bob Canino, both members of something called MUFON. And first we're going to find out just what that is. You're going to have fun with this one, aren't you, Joe?
Yeah, indeed.
Mr. Bodner, please explain to us first, to the folks, what MUFON is and what it's all about.
Well, MUFON is a worldwide organization, but mostly centered in the U.S. We have about 5,000 members, virtually all volunteer, and we investigate reports of unidentified flying objects from around the country and around the world, in fact.
Now, are you always fighting the perception or suggestion that well, you guys must be a little bit kooky if you take this seriously?
Well, even some of us think we're a little bit kooky at times. But we investigate everything that comes in, and we find that most of them are unidentified objects that are normal, unidentified, like stars or planes or things like that, and the people don't know what they are, and we try to explain to them what they are. But a small percentage turn out to be things that nobody can identify.
Now, back in the 60s and 70s, I know that Central New York was a real hotbed for sightings, but there hasn't been anything good, I guess, in a while. What happened on May 28th?
May 28th was about when we got into it, although it may have happened even the week before. The week of May 28th, just before Memorial Day, there was many sightings on the south shore of Oneida Lake looking north, and also some further north in Mexico and Parrish, Redfield, Evans Mills, and Ogdensburg. Now, we don't think all of those were the same lights because they're too far apart. But certainly the ones from Mexico, Parrish, Redfield on down toward Oneida Lake, we can match some of the videos with each other and see the same formations of lights.
Mm-hmm. Bob, you've seen a lot of these videos. Did this strike you as unique at all, or for some reason high quality?
The videos themselves, Chuck, are very interesting because, first of all, because of the duration of them. Okay, usually you get a UFO video that might be not much more than 3 to 8 minutes, I think. I was talking to another researcher. They said they usually last 3 to 8 minutes. Right here in one segment alone, we've got over 45 minutes of tape that span 3 different incidents over 2 nights. Also, the gentleman who was the videographer took some pains to make sure that he scanned the horizon. He hit the date and time button so he could have a record there. Basically did a real good job of photographing something in the sky that he really didn't understand.
Now, as we all know, anybody who's ever shot home video or otherwise, you can zoom in on just about anything and make it look like just about anything, particularly a UFO. Aren't you always fighting with that problem?
Yeah, there's always a problem there, and especially when people are struck by these things, they go out and grab their video camera and they might have the settings wrong, or they might not come up clean on that. However, in this case, it's outstanding not just because there was another videotape captured of exactly the same event about 18 miles west of the first people, and also that there are over 30 witnesses to the event in itself.
And of course the government explains this away right away. This was nighttime flares, and the government always has an answer for every one of these. Do we have an official, a U.S. government official ever on record of saying, we don't know what that was?
Well, Joe, what happened in this case, I can't speak to some other cases, but what happened in this case was there was also a spate of sightings up in the Watertown area, specifically over Shawmont Bay, which is Upper Lake, Ontario. And people called the base, Fort Drum up there. They're always looking to the military for an answer when they see something bopping around in their skies. Evidently, there was no answer forthcoming, so grudgingly they gave out a statement that they were testing some kind of nighttime illumination device. However, I talked to the reporter that covered it for the Watertown Times newspaper, and he indicated to me that there was some discrepancy between what the people were reporting and what the military actually described as what they were testing. So in this case, there's really no addressing of the issue at this point in time by the military. However, when pressed, they seem to give some kind of explanation whereby they're on the record saying something.
But that doesn't explain something happening in the town of Camden. I know for a fact that Fort Drum is exactly 107,000 acres. There's plenty of property up there over which they can test new illumination devices. Why would they be doing it down here?
Yeah, and it's really strange because if they're trying to keep it secret, here they're playing it out in front of probably tens of thousands of people looking north in the evening hours around 10 or 11 o'clock. And if they're trying to show it to the public, why not tell us about it now, what it was, or beforehand?
Have they actually said this Oneida Lake incident was flares?
No.
No.
Okay. Tell me something. I looked at your footage. How and you're the scientist on this.
Well,
how high off the ground are these things?
I haven't done an analysis of that particular footage, but the other footage with the 12 objects in the sky, that's where the west end of the lake and the east end of the lake both have shots at it, and we have the azimuth readings on those.
The thing we saw.
Yeah, I haven't done that one yet, but the other one that has 12 lights in it, I've done that one. And
what date was that?
That was on the 28th of May, about 11:30 in the evening. And that one comes out to right over Redfield at about 8,000 feet over Oneida Lake level. I don't know how far.
8,000 feet, so it's pretty high.
Well, over Oneida Lake level. I don't know what it would be over Redfield, but probably 6,000 or 7,000.
Okay, so it's pretty high, and it's over land.
Yes.
And how far away from Fort Drum is that?
That would be about 50.
It's at least 50 miles to the southeast.
Yeah. And what do you guys think it is?
We have different opinions, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well,
It's a good time to take a break, I think.
Yeah.
Why don't we go to break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what it might be. And there's even more to this, because apparently the exact same thing was seen several months earlier in the state of Arizona. That and more when we come back. Welcome back to Face this morning. Joe Zone, Bob Andrews, and I are talking with Dave Bodner and Bob Canino, two local UFO investigators, about the recent sightings seen over Oneida Lake. Actually, not over Oneida Lake. I guess it was over land north of Oneida Lake. But we're going to take another look at some of that video right now. There was a lot of it shot. And when we went to break, Bob Andrews was asking, I don't know if it was Bob or Dave, what you guys think it is. And I know you're not always in agreement.
Right. We should discuss our disagreements. I'm leaning toward the flare explanation, because these things do tend to sputter out. That's the 12-light formation. That's the one that's also caught from the west end of the lake. This is the east end of the lake. And so we can triangulate, and that triangulation now puts it above Redfield.
Now, is that reflection in the water of the lake?
Yes, it is.
How could that be if they're not over the lake?
Well, that could be, but the ridge on the far side gives us a problem. There is a low ridge of land on the far side, and that should cut down the light.
And they're not actually white, apparently.
No,
that's just overexposed.
That's overexposed camera. They're actually orange, and if they go out of focus here, you'll see that. The water reflection is more the real color.
And you think they're flares?
I personally think they're flares because they sputter out and they do have smoke as seen through binoculars.
I guess Bob's not absolutely convinced that they're flares.
Well, Chuck, from the people that I've talked to who investigated a similar sighting in Phoenix, they have looked at this videotape and they've also taken it to Jim Dilatoso at Village Labs, who is a well-known photo analyst and video analyst. I'm not saying I'm discounting flares, but at this point in time, they brought up a number of points that seem to indicate it may be something else other than flares. What it is, not really sure, but they've been to Defense Department people that they have on their staff, and also ex-munitions people, had them look at the tape, had them talk about what they've seen there, and they have quite frankly ruled out any kind of flares in their situation in Phoenix. Now, that's not saying that's not an explanation for us here. However, the signature pattern that we just saw on the film there is almost the same signature pattern that has appeared in Phoenix as well. So they're basically looking at copycat things.
That's the straight line of lights.
The straight line of lights.
Yeah, that one.
I was going to say, couldn't we, you know, every time that we do look for an explanation from this, we get from the Army or the military, oh, we were doing this. Wouldn't just once be nice if they told us before they were doing this, when we see all these things in the sky, then there'd be a little more credibility when they give us an answer on this. They never tell us ahead of time, oh, by the way, those 2 billion things you saw in the sky, that was us. They don't go on record beforehand and let us know we're going to see the stuff.
And it would be nice from a public safety standpoint to tell people this is going to happen, because this excites a lot of people and gets very shook up. We have one lady taking the video in Ogdensburg. She tripped over something and cut her legs or something. She's bleeding all over their place taking the video. I mean, those kind of things happen.
That's why I have a problem with the credibility. If they're going to send off all these flares, don't they know that people are going to see this and they're going to have some problems with it and there are going to be some questions? So why can't they say, by the way, 10 o'clock Monday night, you might see some lights in the sky. And then we wouldn't be talking about this.
Well, the guy in Watertown did give us a schedule.
Yes, there was a schedule released from Fort Drum as to when these A-10s were releasing these illuminated devices, whatever they were using up there. They said it would happen between 10:15 and 3 a.m. in the morning, and they were being released that week up in that area. Actually, there's still some discrepancies with all that, but they did come forward and give a schedule on that. However, you know, it wasn't announced prior to the media.
Is the schedule consistent with your sightings?
Right now it is. Right now, these sightings that we've seen on Oneida Lake fit that time frame.
But you got the schedule after the sightings.
Yeah.
You didn't get it. This is going to happen tomorrow, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Right. One thing I might point out, Joe, is that in Phoenix, the Pat military explanation kind of backfired. Everybody out there has been seeing things since December. March 13th was a big wave of sightings in Phoenix. Nobody could ignore them. Everybody looked at them, and the first place they ran to was Luke Air Force Base, which is close by. And they gave the knee-jerk reaction of, you know, it's probably something that we're testing illumination-wise, flares maybe. Well, the mayor of Phoenix came out and said, if you're testing any flares over the city of Phoenix, you know, I want an explanation for that. So anyway, the whole thing resolved itself where she kind of forgave them and they kind of backed off halfway. But again, it's the same problem as you said. You know, by not informing the public, by keeping things in your upper pocket, no matter what kind of devices they are, you just create a lot more problems than you really solve. So why not come forward? Why not just tell?
If these are flares, they're obviously very bright. Sort of, I'm trying to imagine these are flares kind of shooting off the back of a plane, or what's the explanation?
Well, obviously it's a new technology, right?
New technology.
If it's 2 million candle power.
Because we have some of these witnesses who are previous military people with experience with flares. And myself, I've seen flares at Camp Drum when I was training up there. And these don't look like flares from that standpoint, because regular flares come down in parachutes, which you can see in the binoculars, and they're usually white.
And none of them can hover like that, correct?
No, but these are at quite a distance. So the 5 minutes that they're illuminated, they may drop several hundred feet. You might not even notice it.
Mm-hmm. Is this just a coincidence that this is coming on the heels of the Roswell anniversary and several new movies coming out and so forth? Or maybe it's a big publicity stunt for another movie.
Well, you never know, Chuck. You can't really rule anything out. However, just for somebody privately to perpetrate a hoax this big or say something about it, usually they want to have the last say, and they show up later on saying, ha, look what we did. There's not a lot of instances of that over 50 years, but you know, you can never rule it out. However, I think in this case, because of the sightings, because of the witnesses, because of the brightness, and also the triangulation that Dave's did, that remains a real lesser possibility. Bob and Dave, in the moment we have left, sometimes we see and hear about these things and never hear anything again. Is there follow-up, or what's next in the investigation? Well, right now, Chuck, sets of the videotapes have gone to 2 different independent photo analysts. One, a gentleman who works with us from MUFON, who's in Milwaukee, and another one out to Jim Dilatoso at Village Labs, who's in Phoenix, who has done a lot of the analysis at the national level for different networks, the sightings programs, and things like that. We also have some contacts in the university area that'll be looking at this tape from an interesting atmospheric point of view to tell us whether we're looking at anything that seems to be like a strange meteorological event or some kind of an astronomical event that, you know, would be little known in the area. However, experts could identify it. So really, we're just scratching the surface right now.
Okay, Bob Canino, Dave Bodner, thanks for joining us this morning.
That's not scary. That's... No. I say call them right now.
They're back. How many? Count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
This was after about 20 minutes of nothing being around. Did they all appear at once, Jeff?
Yeah.
They all appeared at once. They didn't come on one at a time?
No, the bottom 3 came on first, then the 2 to the right, then the 2 to the left, and then that whole bunch of them to the top. I said,
1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
on the bottom.
No, there's 4 on the bottom. And then there's 2, 4, 5 on the top right and 2 on the top left.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 now. We just lost the 3 on the bottom. No,
No.
they just disappeared. They're talking about oh, we got some.
What?
Oh, they're gone. 2 on the bottom are gone.
Yep. Now we got
The other
2.
ones are dropping.
2, 4, 6.
They're all dropping in sync. There's a white flashing light between the, both groups. We're losing the 2. No, we're not.
They are turning, but the way it looks in the camera here, is that like the bottoms are like a orange and white and blue glow, and then the tops are gray.
What do you see in the field glasses?
I just see orange. Because I'm shaking. Oh, we're losing the two to the left. We just lost one to the left.
Yep. And the other one's fading.
Yeah. He's gone. Almost. Gone. Never let go of the ground. No, there's only 5.
Mm-hmm. And the one on the right's fading.
They're staying in the same formation.
Yep.
Yep.
Now we got 3.
Yeah, the front left one's
Now you got 2 left.
2.
They're dying.
They're smoking. And they're
Gone.
gone. You know, I should have stayed on the last that I got on. The whole sky was
And I'm in there trying to look at the tape. Hope I didn't rewind over half of it.
The whole sky was just lit up.
Yeah, sure.
There's 4 of them. Two slope downwards on the right.
Yeah. Pictures are taken of the second pane in our bedroom. It's the second sighting. We just lit up when we went on.
Now this is a different formation from the first.
Yeah.
And from the top of the mountain, I believe it's higher.
Yeah, it's higher this time.
There's a boat out here. They're going out towards it. Always.
One of our neighbor boats pulling off the dock. Looks like he's going towards the lights. Look like what they're doing. traveling across the lake. And it's slowing up now. Circled. Circling around.
They signaling?
They've stopped. They're back.
Oh my God.
5. There was 4 before.
7.
Here they come. More of them. The Mulroys went out in the boat. Here's another one. Look at them. 3, 6, 7, 8.
Those aren't flares.
8 of them.
I was laying there up because
Eight are in a row. New patterns every time. They're well above the horizon this time. You notice that? They're a lot higher.
I haven't seen that formation yet.
No.
There should be still like 3 more then. Oh, one of them.
Huh?
There should be like 3 more because if they're big, they're less strong, whatever.
Evidently Mulroys or whoever that boat is is watching them too. They flew right out there on the second light up. surprised they didn't go across the lake, but
I don't think I'd want to go across the lake.
If I put our outside light on,
mm-mm. It'd be interesting to see if the one on the right fades first, Jed.
Yeah. Can't stand out there.
Uh-uh.
Can you?
No. The one on the right goes out. So I'm really weird about this. Now we have 7. 7's fading.
which one? The one on the right?
Yep.
Right.
6 is fading. 5 is fading. 4 is fading. 3 is fading. 3 is fading. And 2 remaining.
Usually the last 2 go out at the same time.
And that's the light on the shore. They're gone again. Now we have 3 again. Straight across. They just started their boat up.
They're over more to the right now.
Yeah, they're towards that white.
And they're lower.
No, not the same.
But this time at 3 o'clock, they've all been in the same straight line pattern. Sort of gradually up towards the left.
No triangle.
Yep.
And if they're floating, I'll try the middle of your eyes.
And they're pulsing at different times. Can you get that?
The what?
They're pulsating.
No, not on the camera.
Do you see it, Chad?
Yeah, but the middle one's falling.
Okay, the end one's pulsing now. Now the middle one. Last one, middle one.
They all have smoke trails. They're all giving off some type of smoke.
Is it a heat trail?
It's
Heat?
yeah.
In the bottom right-hand corner of the picture is the green buoy light going off and on to give you some kind of proportion as to where they are.
There's some kind of trail coming off of each one.
What the hell you got?
Okay. Okay, the boat's leaving.
There's 4. There's another one, 1, 2, 3, right off the 3rd one. On the top, very faint. There's 4.
On the right?
Yep, left.
I can't pick it up.
Okay.
Right here, looking.
You look at the glasses now.
Can I see?
Right off the left one. Very faint.
Jeez, honey, all I see is stone. Still see it?
Yeah. It's not a shadow. Just squint at both eyes. I can still see it.
I need glasses.
That's the one I camera.
You know the boat? What's he doing?
Trying to get a different angle at him. Maybe.
He's over to the left.
Yeah, his green light now is towards us and he must be coming back.
The middle one's dropping.
Oh, they're
No,
done.
but it's just shutting off.
This is the first time they haven't gone out north.
One on the right.
Usually the last two are going out together.
Last one's out. Yeah. One's fading. The other one's fading. Before it was about just 2 before, right?
Oops.